Good morning, this is Michael Carr. I'm recording this bit and adding it onto the front of what I do and why. You may have heard the statement, you can't read a book without learning something about the author. Well, it turns out you can't write a book without learning something about the author. And I'm writing a book, and just to keep my own self-disclosure really short, something strange happened. Things I mentioned throughout the book, ideas that changed my life, kind of stood out. And so I'm just adding this brief little thing about who I am. It's so concise. Basically, I have adopted 5 beliefs. As they came along, they defined and redefined my life. The first one, of course, do unto others. We all know that one. The second one came when I was in the 4th grade and I was asked to do some tutoring. Somebody told me, if you give away all of your knowledge, you still have it. And then around 1975, I'm watching a science fiction show, and one of the characters says, answers are easy. It's asking the right questions, which is hard, which I remembered through most of my life as knowing is easy, asking right questions is hard. And it is, especially in this day and age. Information's everywhere. It's free. You have to set yourself apart by asking good questions, and I try and do that. The next was I was put here to help people, and then the final one came along in my early 30s. A mentor told me this. I've spent basically my life in the service business, helping people, and in my 30s, he said, if I help enough other people get what they want in life, I will never have to worry about what I want in life. And so from 5 to 35, they came along, but they kind of all fit together, as you can see in what I do. And just like a trail I followed. I just wanted to add that in there. Okay, let's continue with the video. Hi, good to see you again. I'm Michael Carr, Simplifymyretirement.life, license 2630482. Please see my disclaimer video for more details. I call this one What I Do and Why. I think I'm going to give an example in here. So again, remember, the examples just to illustrate principles. It's not for you. That would be dependent upon your age and when you decide to reach out. A lot of pricing and things change based on bond rates and the economy. So what do I do? Simply, I help people prepare for retirement or secure their retirement, mostly by moving money from risk to safety. You may first think of risk as the volatility of the stock market. If a bad year right before you retire or during retirement happens, that could take a piece of your retirement away. Absolutely true. The second thing would be the fees in the fee advisory system that I talk about. I've shown how they can be a drag and cause your money not to last as long as you need it to. So that's a risk. There's also a third risk that's happening right now. The risk of people living longer than their money could last. Or conversely, people not understanding how to make their money last no matter how long you live. So that's, financial planning has to include planning for the unknowns, right? Sorry, the camera's over here. You have to plan for the unknowns in financial planning, and nobody knows how long they're going to last. So that's what I do. I help people understand and plan for a 30-year retirement. I simply base that, my dad's 92, still going strong. If he retired at 65, there you go, 30 years. And some people don't make it, some people do, but I'm positive I'm also conservative. These are my biases. They come out in the planning I do for people. But that is my goal, to give all my knowledge, to show people how competitive insurance products are with financial products. And it's pretty amazing. I will do a completely separate video on my top growth product and show you the guarantees and safety mechanisms within there, as well as why this particular product is so powerful. It's patent pending. It has all kinds of new ideas created by the company that actually invented the fixed index annuity. I've mentioned that a few times. I love annuities. Annuities are the only contractual way to get an income, even after your account is depleted. It's just that simple. I know in another video I mentioned there's a company that's not in favor of annuities. They say they can do anything an insurance product can do. They can't. It's absolutely not the truth. I think I get into that. There's nothing on the financial industry side that'll pay you a single penny after your account goes to zero, because when your account goes to zero, you're not paying them fees, and it's a pay-to-play system. You don't pay, you don't have an advisor. Plus, your account goes to zero a little faster, possibly because of their fees, right? I'm still 65. Why am I still working? I'm in excellent health. I go out hiking every day when the weather's good. I kayak in the winter. I snowshoe. I'm really working hard. As I said, my dad's 92 and still doing well. So when I look at myself, I realize I could easily be in for a 30-year retirement. And currently I'm single and I don't have enough to keep myself busy that whole time. I'm personally concerned that if I slowed down, did not work, did not have these things to keep my mind and body active, my health would suffer. That's one of my personal fears. And financial planning can't help that particular one. So I've gotten older, I've learned and found much better ways to accomplish things than I used to, as I myself was a fee advisor. All right? You don't have to take risks anymore. You don't have to pay high fees. As I call it, you don't have to have a partner in your retirement. If you have fees, you're sharing the money with somebody. Now, does any particular fee you're paying them benefit you in a great way, like an insurance, providing leverage? None that I know of on the financial side. Yes, on the insurance side. So insurance products versus financial products. I'm going to compare and contrast the system I used to work in with the system I work in now. I'm going to state this over and over again. The problem is with the system. The problem is with the math. The problem is not with your advisor. I'm sure they're very nice, right? But more modern methods, as my rise and fall of the Main Street Advisor said, information is so much more available and it's almost always free. Trading is free all over the place and low cost in many more places. So that's not the way it used to be. Things have changed. Is the change something you should be part of? That's what we're talking about in all these videos. So I say I have nothing personal against financial advisors. It's against the system. It's because of the math. But there is one I mentioned. They say on the internet and elsewhere they hate annuities. Very strong language. I don't have a problem with that. I love them. The reason they hate annuities is not because of annuities. If you read and get informed, you'll find that they hate variable annuities for the most part. And I do too. That's what I used to represent in the old system. There are some Main Street advisors that still do represent variable annuities. They didn't work out as they hoped to in the 1990s. Fees on top of fees. As you'll see in other examples, your advisor could wind up with a whole bunch of your money, an amount that isn't reasonable. And we'll go through that. So there's one that I'm against. And as I said, he further says that they can do anything that an insurance instrument can, and that's absolutely not the truth. There is no such financial instrument, and I doubt that there ever will be. Only a guaranteed income pooled annuity can pay you after your account is empty. So to illustrate, first, imagine a pool of people, 10,000 people in it. Everybody has a life expectancy on average of 79 and a half years. How does somebody 85 or 92, like my dad and his annuity, still get paid after his account is empty? They get paid because somebody passed early at 70 or 55. It's been going on since the 1600s, so it's not something new. It's very proven. So I guess there is one advisor out there that I don't like because they refuse to tell the whole truth. If you read their story, you'll see they're talking about variable annuities, and I also am not a fan. But to benefit themselves, because they're an assets under management advisor, they tell people they hate all annuities, because every dollar that goes into annuity is a dollar that did not go into an asset under management advisor, and they didn't get collect fees. So all of the licenses and certifications, designations that I got, basically so I could charge higher fees and put people into more complex and undoubtedly higher risk situations, let's call it. If you don't want higher fees or to put people in more complex vehicles, you don't go get your registered investor advisor credentials. Why am I no longer in the corporate world, having companies provide me with clients? Because I found they all have an agenda of sorts. Almost every one of them have very limited companies, opportunities, plans they offer their clients. And in my mind, I think anytime anybody limits the good things they offer, that's got more to do with themselves than the people they're supposed to be serving. My opinion. Speaking of which, can I tell you my whole motto in life? It was taught to me when I was in my early 30s. I had a mentor say, life is very simple. All you have to do is help enough other people get what they want, and you will never have to worry about what you want. And he's right. It has been simple. I've basically been serving people my whole life, and when I make their lives better, I get paid. 40 years, it's provided a nice life, happy life. And so straight to you, my current goal is to help 200 people before I retire at age 70. At 70, I plan on still staying active, but going and visiting things, national parks and such. So I'm 65 and a half now. Last year, I think I helped about 40 people. So, total, I'm maybe getting close to my first 100. I'd be happy to raise my goal because I'm still worried about retiring earlier than 70. I just foresee myself at 70 being hopefully the same as I am now, right? So if I help 200 or more other people get what they want, I make their life better, I'll be able to have a nice retirement. So I mentioned earlier in the late 1990s, a company invented the fixed index annuity. That's the basis of a lot of my protection plans, income plans, some of the safest growth plans that guarantee you no loss of principal. But there are more powerful plans than that are a little more complex. But basically, most income annuities are structured so you can't lose a penny. The insurance company takes all the downside. So the two of you have to share the upside. So, of course, income annuities really started gathering steam when pensions ended for most employees, because now workers need to replace their lost pensions from their own savings. That's why I love annuities, because it's possible. When you see the video I do on annuities, there'll be more details, but I'm doing a video titled Leverage that's very brief, and it'll give you a couple examples of what I mean by leverage, and it might get you interested to listen to more details in what will be an annuity podcast, probably 2, income and growth, and then a life insurance podcast. I also plan on doing long-term care. That has changed. Long-term care or nursing home care. If you went out to buy insurance where you pay a premium and if you don't use it, you lose the premium, very tough for most people. You got to be pretty well off to afford what could be thousands of dollars a month to pay for nursing home care, and that money's gone if you stay healthy, which of course is your goal, and you're taking great strides in those directions. So nowadays, they have protection for nursing home and long-term care inside of insurance policies and inside of annuity contracts that allow you to still pass on through life insurance or pass on through your account balance everything that's in there if you don't use the benefits provided. So a lot of people have been asking about that. One other thing out there that people don't know of, CD rates are just have tumbled in the last several months. There are multi-year guaranteed annuities that are similar in some ways to CDs. CDs have rules, multi-year guaranteed annuities have rules, but if you're not going to touch either of them during the 1, 2, 5 to 10-year periods, a multi-year guaranteed annuity will pay much more, currently approximately 40% more than CDs I see being offered on signs and things. So again, any examples just to illustrate. I hope you found this informative, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.